You're listening to Radio Mayapur with the best devotional, meditation, kirtan music, and inspirational podcast. This is Radio Mayapur.
Hello, Hare Krishna everybody. This is Gangadas, your host for Radio Mayapur. Today we are near Genoa. What is called this place?
This is called Pontinvrea.
Pontinvrea, which is in a beautiful farm outside of Genoa, Liguria.
Savona, yes.
Savona. So today we are very, very fortunate to meet Prabhu Das, which I met a long time ago in India. And Prabhu Das is born in Verona in February 1963. And when he was 17 years old, he went alone to India to reconnect or discover something about life. And in 1981, he met the Hare Krishna movement. He dedicated himself to yoga. And first in Italy, then in India. He also published many, many books, which I will ask you to talk about. And from 2004 and 2010, he became the founder and director of a very famous magazine called Free Spirit, Spirito Libero. And 2011, again, he came back into Bhakti. He was always connected with Bhakti, but, for a moment, he was working from outside. And he became responsible for the temple of Hare Krishna in Torino. And today, with his son, he took over this beautiful place where we are today with His Holiness Banuswami. We are visiting this place, Italy, for 1 month. And it's a beautiful farm with 20 hectares of land, which is quite large. There are hills, trees, and they're going to bring cows. They have a beautiful farmhouse, which is a beautiful building, can host many people. And they're planning to develop this area with a yoga center. They also do food for life. They also distribute books. They also do program in yoga center around this area. So they're very dynamic people. And thank you very much, Prabhu Das, for giving us your time today.
Hare Krishna.
And tell us something about your early life. Your family, you were born, and how the parents reacted to you becoming Hare Krishna and something like that.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thanks a lot, Ganga Prabhu, first of all, to invite me for this.
Great pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Interview. And I was born in Verona, as he was saying, and in a bit chaotic family, actually, atheist family. So for me, the word God is something has been for many years, something very obscure and not pleasing at all. But I was, at that time, in early 60s in US, in Italy was the early 70s.
Yes.
So everyone was enjoying free spirit and this and that. So I started to connect with spiritualism because I decided to go in India. My motivation was not much spiritual. Everyone was going there mostly to smoke and for free. But soon my friends were not coming, so I decided to live alone. I was only 17. I asked my parents to sign the passport. I told them I'm going to Greece. But from Greece, I took one-way ticket to Bombay.
Wow.
So I found myself at midnight in Bombay airport. And when I was there, I sat down. I said, and now what I'm going to do here? Yeah. So my adventure in India started like that.
Started in Bombay.
And
which is also a very chaotic city. At that time, especially.
Yeah. So then after that, I went to Pushkar because my address was, I had to meet some Italian friend, they were staying in Pushkar.
Pushkar, yeah.
But when I arrived in Pushkar, I discovered that my friends, they left a couple days before.
Oh.
So I was really, it was a bit traumatic trip on train. It was a local train, took 1.5 days, I didn't know much. But one lucky thing happened. And this I discovered after so many years. Then a couple of Brahmins, they took me in the Pushkar lake.
Nice.
And they forced me to take a bath.
Yeah.
And mostly because they wanted money,
Oh, I see.
But after so many years, I discovered in reading the Srimad Bhagavatam that those who bathe in the Pushkar River, they get the seed of devotional service.
Absolutely.
So I invested my little money that I had at that time. So then I went to Goa, and then from there I decided to stop with intoxication. I came back to Italy, and I started meditating. Also because in Bombay I met a guy who was a sannyasi, a disciple of Osho at that time, and he introduced me to meditation. Okay. So I started to meditate, following his teachings. And after some time, a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, called me and said, "One Hare Krishna has come here. Please come to visit me. He has given me some, how do you call it, album? Disc,
It was a record.
A record, yeah.
Was 33?
Yes.
The big one.
Yeah, the big one. And so...
was the George Harrison one?
No, it was an Italian one.
Oh, it was the Italian one.
But with some mantra, So I went to his house, and he was so electrified from the meeting with this Sankirtan devotee. And he invited me to their farm. And so I listened to that record. And together, after a few days, we went to this farm.
Which place you went?
In Villa Vrindavan. It was just the beginning. It was just the beginning. And from that moment, actually, the experience in Villa Vrindavan was not very well because it was so cold. It
was wintertime.
Wintertime. But I remember the eyes of the devotees and this Mahaprasad. And I was amazed by that. But then we went away after a couple of days. And I always remember these devotees chanting in this bag. And I was thinking, what are they keeping in that bag? I thought there were some herbs, sacred herbs. And they were chanting this Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. So after a couple months, I went in the office, and on the table there was a magazine, Ritorno a Krishna, Back to God, in Italian.
Yes.
So I took the magazine, and I totally forgot what I was doing there. I started reading, I went home, and I found the Maha Mantra, finally. And the explanation of the Maha Mantra. So what happened? I started chanting, I read the whole magazine, and then the next morning I went to work, and for 8 hours I chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. 8 hours. I think I chanted like 50 or 60 rounds for sure. Then, at 5 o'clock, I went home and I said to my mom, I'm going to Florence. And I never come back, actually, to my native place. Yes, sometime I went, but... So the experience as a brahmachari, as a full-time devotee started. But I was very young, and, this is and the movement was very young, and the leaders were very young. So after a few years of tough brahmachari life, some material desires came, and there was also some, the guru, this and that. So I decided to go back to India.
Nice.
And going back to India for me has been very important because I entered in the culture of India. I started studying Hindi and also Sanskrit, some basic of Sanskrit. And I start traveling. I took Chaitanya Charitamrita and, the whole trip of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going in different places. And that's how I met Ganga Prabhu, because the trip brought me from Mayapur then to
Chennai,
first
Madras at that time.
Yeah, first Jagannath Puri,
Yes,
and then Chennai, and then I went to Tirupati. And in Chennai, I met with Ganga Prabhu. And
that was 1987, I think.
87, yeah.
Yes, it was 1987. I remember. Yeah. You were not alone. Were some other?
I was traveling actually with Kunteya Prabhu.
Oh, yeah, Kunteya
But
Prabhu.
in Chennai, Kunteya Prabhu decided to stop.
Stay there, yes.
And he became a disciple of Jayapataka
Swami, yeah.
And I decided to go
to continue
my trip along. And it's been a very deep experience. So I understood that the Hare Krishna movement is not just a new movement, started from nothing a few years back, but it is, we are so lucky of being part of the best movement. And it is so ancient in one sense and so new. Every day is like Navayoga.
New experience.
It's like Krishna is always
absolutely,
new.
Absolutely.
So now I feel so ecstatic here in the company of Ganga Prabhu, and Bhanu Swami came, His Holiness Bhanu Swami came and brought, and at that time I met him too.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my long story short.
No, that's very nice.
But then what happened? That I decided then to get married.
Yes.
And 2 kids, but I was feeling that I had to do my experience in the world.
Sure.
So the experience in the world as being pleasing in one sense, but very tough in another sense.
Yes.
But, Krishna has put me in this situation, I discovered later on. And 2 kids, but I remember, I tell you, I didn't tell to Maharaj. At that time, I asked to Maharaj about astrological
Yes, he
advice.
did your astrological chart.
Yeah, and I asked him, Maharaj, I would think to get married. What do you think?
Yes.
And his expression was like this. He was not
very good.
He was really accurate.
Yes.
Even though at the end of the story, the situation is very nice because my
your
kids,
son become
both of them,
both
they're
of them
devotees.
become devotees.
And I had to make my experience in the world. And I found myself somehow or other alone in the world at a certain point. And it was there that I started writing. For me, the writing as being a therapeutic thing, And
you reconnect with Krishna through your writing.
More than with Krishna, with myself.
Oh, with yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
That's self-discovery.
Yeah. I started writing, and I was in need of stop because I started at that time I started a business, and I was traveling, trying to be someone, trying to make money, trying to do something useful. But I discovered after so many years that the best thing is to stop and reconnect with yourself and reconnect with Krishna. At that time, as Ganga Prabhu was saying about this magazine, it was not very famous, but it has become quite
I think
famous.
It was well known.
Yeah, starting from nothing, I was alone, and all my things that I had at that time was a pen and a block notice, And it's difficult to start a magazine with
just a pen and notebook.
Yeah. But I wrote the first introduction, the first article, and I was imagining myself. I was on the sea beach, and I said, this boat is leaving now, traveling islands here and there to discover people, world. Experience, and from that small paper. Actually, the first number has come out, and then the second number And then we published 33 magazines, and it was a lunar magazine, so coming out every full moon. And at the end, there was a big magazine, 100 pages, and many writers was writing, journalists. Why I'm saying this, not just to talk about me, no, is the experience was very important, because this magazine I started came in a dream. And for 3 nights, I dreamed about this magazine. Never happened in my life that the dream for 3 nights, every night I was dreaming the same dream.
Connected.
And the next day, the magazine, it was the second number and I was going to distribute. And then the third night, I dreamed again. So at that point, I woke up and I said, I have to write this. And I saw the title in the magazine was Spirito Libero. That means free spirit.
Free spirit.
So that's why I was excited about that. But, excitement is not enough to publish something. But excitement brought me to meet people. And from one to another, I started to interview the whole world of esoteric research. So many therapists, journalists, writers, because my intent was to give the microphone to those who knew something,
Right.
So in few years, I came to know all the esoteric research world of the whole world, actually, from the Maya of the South America to the Buddhist, different kind of Buddhism, to the, I interviewed a couple of times the Kriyananda, who is the first disciple of, one of the main disciples of Yogananda, and in the world of Osho, in the world of so many worlds. And after 3.5 years, and we started also an editing company with the same name, and I started editing books of other people. Yeah. And my passion for writing was there, Then all of a sudden, what happened? That my elder son told me I'm going to London,
Yes.
And in joke, almost on joke, I told him, why don't you go in the Hare Krishna temple? No, I don't care about Hare Krishna. I go there to do my stuff,
Yeah.
And I told him, when you travel, better to have an address more than an address less.
Yes.
Yeah, and he said, okay, give me the address.
It was a point of reference, just in case anything happened. Yeah.
So he went there, and, because he didn't have money, he was going to the lunch program in South Street.
Yeah.
And he started washing the pots, he started listening to the philosophy. And one day he called me and he told me, Papi, Papi has a double meaning.
Yeah, of course.
Papi, this philosophy is very interesting. And I remained shocked, because I said, my son is coming to tell me what I have to do in my life. So I walked for 2 hours. I didn't have the mala with me at that time. And I chanted on my fingers 16 rounds. And I was crying, and a voice came and told me, now, rascal, go back in the movement and do your duty in Krishna consciousness. So I decided to join again. And I went to Villa Vrindavan again. But what happened? That I was very changed inside from my experience, and the movement also changed a lot. Many years has passed.
Yes.
So, but I humbly took the first service that they offered to me to clean the garden, and I was praying. Every difficult was coming, and I was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Waking up early morning, 16 rounds, very tough. And every day, problems were coming because I had a lot of problems to solve around.
Right.
But one day I thought, Krishna, you say that you protect your devotees. Now I want to challenge if it is true. And so every morning I was chanting the 16 rounds, and every day all the problems somehow or other
Disappear.
or being solved or postponed, but somehow or other I could. Then I decided to go really back and started from Vrindavan. Then after that, Madhusarita Prabhu invited me in Bergamo. So for a couple of years I was there, but I was not happy because not totally happy, because my vision has changed a lot in these years. And I was thinking I have to open something on my own, So one night a dream has come, and I had to go to Brescia. I wanted to go to Brescia to open a temple on my own from nothing, but the dream came, and this I wrote in a book that after I give you this book. And the dream was bringing me to Torino. There was a river, the rocks, very, very clear.
Detail.
So I said, Torino. I woke up and said, let's go to Torino. And I started there with my son, younger son was 16 years old at that time, and a new bhakta. And I told them, let's go to Torino. We will start with Food for Life. We will start preaching. One day we will have temple, farm. Let's go there. But, we didn't have
nothing.
I had only 50 euro in the pocket. But the blessings of Madhusarita Prabhu, who said, okay, go for it. So we went to Torino, and it's amazing because when you don't have anything and only a couple boxes of books, you have to go in Sankirtan.
Of course. That's the only way.
Yeah. And from that, meeting one people after another, then we could open a small center, and we started with Food for Life. I started Italian Food for Life 7 years back.
Nice.
And from that,
everything developed.
Yeah, developed.
So it's proof that Krishna is taking care of his devotees.
Yeah.
So you can confirm to the whole world, okay,
Yes.
You are the living proof of this. But also I saw you wrote many books, commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, or you can say the abridged version of Bhagavad Gita in Italian, of course, from Srila Prabhupada books, right?
Yeah.
And then you wrote some book about India. You wrote many books.
Yeah, until now.
You are a prolific writer, I should say.
Until now, I wrote 7 books.
7 books.
Actually, my experience in the world with the printing, with the editing, make me understood that, of course, for me, Sankirtan is the best way to distribute Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
And we have to go in Sankirtan. But what I was thinking, that for some people to understand the real meaning of Srila Prabhupada books is difficult.
Yes.
So I start writing to help those people to introduce Krishna consciousness. And I wrote the first book with this name, Hare Krishna, in every town and village. And then I went to an editor, was somebody I knew before.
Right.
And he saw the book and he said, oh, Hare Krishna, a book on Hare Krishna. There is nothing like that in Italy.
Right.
And I was wondering, after so many years, nobody has written anything in Italian.
Right.
Because we distribute millions of books, but
Yes.
not in that way,
Yes.
So he said, okay, I will publish this book. So I was so enthusiastic. I wrote the second one, and the third one is an introduction.
The second one you wrote is written Food for the Soul.
Yeah, and this one.
It's not just about recipe. It's about the philosophy,
Yes.
I believe.
And actually, the first one and this one, I also translated in English.
Right.
So I'm looking for an editor for English.
Okay.
And no, this is Food for the Soul. It looks like a recipe.
It looked like a recipe book with a samosa in front and dal. So I'll buy this book and thinking, okay, I'm going to cook some samosa or something. Or
Yeah,
make khichdi.
because I believe a lot on prasadam and
Yes.
on distribution of prasadam.
Of course.
So I don't say what is inside the book. I don't want to spoil your curiosity.
But I'm sure there is some recipe inside.
Yes, some recipe.
But it's about the philosophy of how to nourish ourselves with the proper conscious alive food. And
yeah, you know, the proof that I was right in this understanding is that I wrote the first 3 books, and I went to my sister. She's 10 years elder than me, and she was following like a new age stuff like this, but we're very far from Hare Krishna. So I gave her the first 3 books. They were not published yet. It was on the way to be published. There was a digital print. And she wrote the books. She read the books. And after a few days, she called me and she said, wow, now I understood what is Bhagavad Gita. And she joined the movement.
Yeah, she's here.
And now she's here. So I realized that my vision was correct, that many people, they would like to join, they would like to be close, but for some people it's difficult to
understand the philosophy,
to overcome the first step and the second step.
Yes.
So my books is an humble attempt to help these people.
Nice. Basically, you are explaining simple terminology or words, how to understand what the context of the Bhagavad Gita, so that people can easily, relate to it and then can understand. Because if you read the whole Bhagavad Gita, it's like so many names, so many things happen in there, and Prabhupada purport touched many, many points. So yes, I understand this is true.
As much as possible, I try to. As so many devotees around the world,
What about the other books you wrote?
Other books are, some are autobiography, but also introduction to Bhagavad Gita philosophy, Srimad Bhagavatam philosophy, the philosophy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Beautiful.
And, this what the people need and what the world need, but they don't know.
Yeah.
So we have to, our effort is to make them know. And this also is written here in other books, also about the food for life, because I believe a lot in this food for life. We started in Turin 7 years back from the first dormitory with the homeless, and 30 people were there. And now we are in 9 cities in all Italy. And this project is becoming a main project of the whole movement in Italy for food distribution to the homeless.
Nice.
And so many newspapers talk about that. And the municipality in Torino now, they are giving funds every year. And also we are participating to the bando, come si chiamano I bandi comunali, I bandi europei? When you get funds from...
Yeah, that means you're requesting funds from international forum so they can sponsor for doing your... you're looking for sponsor for doing this particular service.
We receive already.
We already received from the commune of Torino, but only I think the central government can give.
Also from Europe and also from regional projects. So now the project is expanding all over Italy.
So everywhere you have people who are cooking, offering, and distributing to those.
Yes. And
nice.
Some are our people that we started, but other temples also they started and following this path. And so now we are in 9 cities around Italy. But my goal is to reach so many other cities.
Of course, we have so many cities.
We are the only one association who distribute vegetarian food to the homeless.
Right, yeah.
So this is very appreciated from the public opinion, because you are doing something substantial for the people there.
Yes. That's very nice. And tell us about this project you're doing here with these devotees in this beautiful place in the countryside. What's your vision about the future? I know you are planning to bring cows, to build a small temple, and already you are successful having Sunday feast. 50 people comes. Every day there's new people coming. I can see your enthusiasm is very touching to everybody. So tell us about your vision about this place, because this is only a few months ago. You got this place with 20 hectares of land, which is beautiful, with the hills and a small river, a lot of fruit tree, nuts, and it's very enchanting place. It's an oasis for people who want to come and live an experience, a spiritual experience.
Yes, this we are just putting in practice the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, distribute prasadam, distribute holy name, distribute my books, and you start projects, rural projects, to show to the people that it's possible to survive and apply this principle, simple living, high thinking. But it's simple to say, but it's not so easy to do it.
Yes.
So, and we also started with cow protection, because after Torino, we took charge of Genova temple. Some trouble was there, so they asked me to take charge of Genova temple. But what happened that the day after that I took charge of Genova temple, the pandemic started. So we found ourselves totally stopped. Books, no books. And we have been safe thanks to Food for Life. We received funds from the government and we could overcome the trouble. But in general, there was one farmer who was allevatore, come si dice allevatore?
It was a person who
was taking care
of animals
before knowing the movement. And when he came in touch with the movement, he decided to do ahimsa cow protection.
Nice.
Not totally when he came in touch with me, but I told him, if you totally become ahimsa, then we can sponsor a project together. So we start looking, because he had
ahimsa means they are not killing the cow.
No, yeah, of course. And
so they can take the milk, they can graze them, then become old, they die, and they protect them, but they will not kill them.
The cows and also the calf.
Yes, the calf.
So we started looking for a place with land, because in Genoa temple there is no land.
Yes.
We started looking around and we found this beautiful place, couple hours from Genoa, 1 hour from Genoa, with 25 hectares of land and a beautiful building. And the price was very cheap, you know. So I ran here and as I was saying yesterday to Ganga, Prabhu, I was telling the story that the group of Buddhists, they were buying this, but, somehow Radha Krishna arranged and we took it for at the last moment, at the last moment. And we didn't have money at that time, but I was praying every morning, 16 rounds, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, and somehow or other, now we are sitting here, it looks like a dream, because a couple months ago we were not here. And of course, it was cheap price, but the building was totally, abandoned. The land was totally abandoned.
How many years people did not live here?
Sorry?
For how many years? There was
for
no
10
people.
years. 10 years,
10 years,
was
that means nobody was living here
how
for
the
10 years.
But the building is so nice, and
beautiful.
In a couple months we already
repainted, restored. It's
and,
very beautiful.
And we do everything ourselves, because we are capable, many of us are capable of doing things, practical thing, electricity, and
plumbing,
everything,
painting.
And now we are here, and now our dream is to our goal, actually. It's not a dream. Now it's a goal.
It's becoming reality.
Is to protect the cows. We have 30 cows. We are waiting to bring the cows here because we need some permission
from the local
from the local government. And we have a lot of land, and we can use this place also to organize yoga retreats, so we can maintain ourselves by renting the place for yoga retreats. And we want to work the land and preach Krishna consciousness to everyone and give them the example that Krishna consciousness is something living force. It's not
a doable thing.
Yeah. And in the Lilamrita, there is a title of a chapter entitled "Nobody Listened to a Poor Man."
Right.
So, and since we are here, the people starting coming, and the place is so beautiful, and they start listening what we are saying.
Yeah.
So everything is exciting if we put our focus on sadhana. Every morning we have this Mongol Artik. A week ago, we came here with nothing, only a picture of Panchatattva and 3 plants of Tulsi. And I was praying, because with a picture of Panchatattva is not too much
the most merciful.
Because in the other temple we had the deities. So coming here, we were praying in the morning to Tulsi, and all of a sudden, in 1 week, an altar arrived from a friend, from a devotee, and the deities of Gaur-Nitai came from Vrindavan.
Amen.
They shipped to us
Beautiful.
In a week. And now we have a morning program with sadhana. So if we focus in deity worship, in Tulsi worship, and in holy name worship, and in Bhagavat worship, and in Prasad worship, then from 9 o'clock until 10 until 7 in the evening, you work hard to do whatever is possible to spread Krishna consciousness. And then 7 o'clock, we again have our evening program, lecture and kirtan. And then you go to sleep, and Krishna come in a dream and suggest you what to do for the next day.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. So, any special message you would like to give to the people listening today to this podcast or Radio Mayapur?
The message is come to visit us.
Yes.
Of course, if you are far away, today is so easy. You just go in our website. Hare Krishna is still the old name, because we need some time on Facebook to change the name. Hare Krishna Genova.
Okay.
And the name of the place is Goloka Ecofarm.
Goloka Ecofarm.
Goloka Ecofarm.
Everybody who listen today is welcome to Genoa, Goloka Ecofarm. It's really Goloka. It's beautiful, this place, I tell you. I feel like I'm in Goloka.
And Goloka means the planet of cows, So this is one very important thing that I learned. And this, thanks to the Ministry of Agriculture and Cow Protection, because 3 years back, I started following their lectures, and I became in charge of cow protection for Italy since 3 years. And drinking this milk, ahimsa milk, and the cheese, and participating to these lectures, I really understood the importance of cow protection. I was reading about cow protection since so many years, but I really didn't understand the meaning. Since I protect the cow, and I work hard to protect the cows, and then I understood the value of the word of Srila Prabhupada.
Absolutely.
So if we protect the cows, Krishna is really satisfied. Otherwise, 50% of our philosophy is gone. And, if you have only one leg, it's not easy to walk. So we have to protect the cows and protect the Brahmin culture, worship Krishna, and be friendly each other with devotees, and be patient. Because in Kali Yuga, so many troubles are always there. But if we are patient and humble
We depend on Krishna.
and dependent on Krishna.
And Mother Earth, I see, is giving, because you are growing already zucchini,
Yeah.
and there is so many herbs like rosmarino, basil, and you planted fagiolini,
Tomatoes, yeah.
tomato. And I can see, in a few months, already so much is coming. So the earth, with Mother Earth, is in love with the devotee. You want to reciprocate with the devotee, because by protecting the cows and protecting the earth and welcoming everybody and sharing the wealth of knowledge you have, then Mother Earth become very pleased. And Prabhupada, the Acharya, Krishna become very pleased. So good job.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
so
lot.
much. I wish you all success. I hope to come back next year with Maharaj and we'll spend more time with you. And if there is anything I can do, please let me know.
Thank you, Ganga Prabhu.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks to
Hare
everybody for
Krishna.
listening. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai. Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
You're listening to Radio Mayapur with the best devotional, meditation, kirtan music, and inspirational podcast. This is Radio Mayapur.